Good morning, everyone. Chapter 2 is about the composition of the atmosphere. And remember that in Chapter 1 we talked about why the atmosphere was important. Remember that it's essential for life as we know it on Earth. We wouldn't be able to undergo photosynthesis or respiration without it. It's an essential part of the water cycle. We need the greenhouse gases to insulate our Earth in order to have life as we know it exist. And we need air in order to have sound waves so we can hear stuff. Okay, so today we're going to talk about what it's actually made of, what is actually in the air. We think of air as just oxygen because that's what we need to breathe, but there's actually a lot of other stuff that is in the atmosphere, not just oxygen. It starts out here saying, did life evolve to match the atmosphere, or is the fit just a coincidence? It says life as we know it would not survive if there was no ozone layer to protect it from the high energy UV rays. Most life, not all, but most needs oxygen to survive. Nitrogen is also needed. Greenhouse gases keep the temperature moderate. So life did evolve to match the conditions that were available. But in some ways, the living organisms also changed the atmosphere by photosynthesis and respiration, right? Over time, our atmosphere changed. We didn't always have the composition of air that we do now. Several properties of the atmosphere change with altitude, so as we go from the ground all the way up to the top of the atmosphere, but the same elements are present. There's one particular layer that is only exists 20 to 40 kilometers up from the ground, and that layer is called the ozone layer. Remember from chapter 1, we said that ozone is 3 oxygen, so O3, and that is like Earth's sunscreen. It protects us from the really harmful UV rays. Talking about the gases that make up our atmosphere, the bulk of it is actually nitrogen. A lot of people think that it's oxygen because we have this oxygen-rich environment and that's what we need to live, but the oxygen only accounts for about 21% of the air. The rest is nitrogen with a little sliver of some other gases, and these largely make up our greenhouse gases that insulate our planet. Water vapor is also a component of our atmosphere. Humidity, like we said with chapter 1, is very apparent here in Minnesota in the summertime. Water vapor is considered a gas. It's the gaseous form of H2O, and that actually works also as an insulator. Greenhouse gases, remember that greenhouse gases trap heat in the atmosphere. Important natural greenhouse gases include carbon dioxide, methane, water vapor, and ozone. We contribute to the greenhouse gases. They are naturally occurring, but we actually do add to those greenhouse gases, and that causes some changes in our atmosphere, human-caused changes that we'll talk about a little bit later. But greenhouse gases in and of themselves are naturally occurring and essential for life as we know it to exist. And then the last part is particulates. Some of what is in the atmosphere is not a gas. Particles of dust, soil, fecal matter, metals, salt, smoke, ash, and other solids make up a small percentage of the atmosphere and are called particulates. Just to clarify here, fecal matter, basically what that means is like if you're driving down Highway 10 and one of the fields on either side of Highway 10 is being plowed or tilled, there's dust in the air, right? That dust also contains manure and all kinds of other things, and those go high up into the atmosphere and can travel great distances, and actually all of those little particles provide a starting point for water vapor to condense onto and create clouds. So these are all normal and natural things that are in our atmosphere. We do produce particulates as humans that are not good. Obviously, some of the solids that come out of our exhaust pipes, those contribute to the particulates in the air, and that is not good. But soil and dust and metals and salt, those are all very, very natural. Okay, that brings us to the end of chapter 2. You've got a little video here to watch and 4 questions to remind you that iBook is found right here, okay? And then you can answer the questions on the Atmosphere Google Doc. And we're only on chapter 2 of 5, so you don't need to turn it in today. Just answer those questions as we go. And I'll talk to you soon.